True or false? Deer are a gardener's best friend. Are deer eating up your plants? Watch this video to the end to learn why deer can be a gardener's best friend sometimes. Hi, I'm Madeline and I'm a native plant gardener. On this channel, I'll be helping you find local native plants to grow in your area. But before we talk about Oregon native plants, I bet you're wondering, why do native plants matter? Go check out my video titled Native Plants versus Global Warming for more details about why you should plant native plants. So today's state is Oregon, and we've moved from the East Coast and Midwest to the West Coast. And Oregon has a funny looking bumblebee on the state already, and I'll tie that bumblebee in later on, don't worry. Let's get right into the 3 native flowering plants that I chose for Oregon native plant gardeners. And maybe you'll become a native plant gardener after watching this. It's not that hard. Plant number 1 is Aquilegia formosa. So there's 4 common names for this, all with Columbine at the end. Let's see if I can remember them all. Western, scarlet, red, forgot the last one. It's crimson Columbine. It's the last common name. Let me tell you a little bit more about Aquilegia formosa or Western Columbine, etc., etc. Red Columbine, there's a lot of different varieties of it. I mean, a lot. But it's red, and it has kind of special flowers that open up like a trumpet, and then on the back of them they have these curved little protuberances. So all these Aquilegia flowers came from a Latin word for eagle, and that's because the spurs on the flower resemble eagle talons. Red Columbine is a perennial, and it grows up to 3 feet tall, and it blooms April through August on the West Coast. Western or Red Columbine needs sun to part shade for the light, and it doesn't use a lot of water. It said medium water use. You can also find it though in dry, rocky soil, so it can tolerate nutrient poor soil and still look nice. This beautiful Columbine does attract hummingbirds. And as far as trying to keep it going, you don't have to worry because it reseeds itself, which I think is awesome. And when it reseeds itself, you'll see little baby plants growing around the parent plant. The following spring, you can dig those up and move them where you want them if you don't want a cluster of them. This flower was used by indigenous people as young leaves. They would boil those and eat those as greens. Indigenous people would use the nectar and make it into candy. Before we move on to the second plant, like and subscribe to my channel to catch more of my native gardening videos. And stick to the end of this video to learn how to find even more of the best native plants for your area. And here comes plant number 2. The botanical name is Dodecatheon Hendersonii. This plant is from the primrose family. Some common names are broadleaf shooting star and mosquito bills. I guess they kind of look like a mosquito coming in for a meal. Mosquito bills are common in the lower 48 and in areas of Canada. Broadleaf shooting star is a colony-forming perennial. They have a little base rosette of leaves, and from that will come a naked stem with the flowers on the very tippy top. The blooms of this shooting star can be white, yellow, red, pink, and purple. I assume those aren't all on one plant. The shooting star has a very unusual bloom time. The bloom time for this really pretty flower starts in December and goes through June. The light requirements it has are shade to part shade, and it has high drought tolerance. it does want to have moist soil in the winter and spring. So the reason I put the bumblebee on the map for Oregon is because this particular flower is especially valued by bumblebees. Just want you to know about this flower that you're going to have to be patient because it will wait to flower for 2 to 3 years. So be patient. You will want it. I know you can see the picture I put in the video. It's just such a cool looking flower. I've got one of my favorite gardening tools here. Support this channel so that I can keep creating content like this by purchasing from my Amazon affiliate link. And I want to show you this, my favorite gardening tool here, one of them. It's called Cooling Sport Sleeves, and I will put a link in the description. Here they are. They're not socks. Stick it on my right arm. They have UV protection, big time. Oh, if you forget to put your sunscreen on every 2 hours when you're working out, what a joke. I always forget. There they are, and you're going to get UV protection. And they're also kind of supportive. And also, I've seen people wearing these at garden centers that work there, and it keeps them from getting stabbed and scratched by all the plants. We've now reached plant number 3, Ipomopsis aggregata, or Skyrocket. This cool flower is from the phlox family, or scarlet Julie, is native to the lower 48 of North America. It's on about a 3-foot stem, and the flowers are usually red, but sometimes they can be pink or orange. So we've finally come to why deer can be a gardener's best friend. Deer and elk love to browse on the leaves of this plant before it blooms. So it's just like early on in the spring. When the deer eat this plant and the elk, they are effectively trimming it and stimulating growth of more stems and more flowers. So it's the one plant that we don't really mind if they're eating it. There's another user of the Skyrocket, and that would be hummingbirds. They love red flowers, and these are tubular flowers, which hummingbirds especially like. They have the long tongue to get that nectar. Now this one, Skyrocket, it's called a biennial. I just couldn't resist including it. I usually like to just do perennials. But if you just plant it 1 year apart for 2 sessions, then you're going to have flowers for 2 years, and just keep doing that every year and repeating. I'll tell you more about how to propagate it here. As far as propagation goes, it does have seeds that it says in my research mature about a month after pollination, but you can get this one commercially also. When does it bloom? May through September. It doesn't use much water at all. The soil type would be dry, rocky, or sandy, so not a lot of moisture. If you don't have deer in your yard, don't worry. You can just pinch it back early on to encourage better flower production. Ready to jump in and plant native plants in your area? I'd love to help you. Comment below with your state, and I'll record a video for you soon. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified as I release videos for every U.S. state on the best native plants. Plus, you can get help to find your best plants today by downloading my free How to Find the Best Native Plants in Your Area right up here. Follow that link. Enjoy your native plants, and thanks for watching.